look out. Here come former SportsCenter anchor Bob Stevens, esteemed basketball coach Rich Basirico, and Hall of Fame sports writer Curry Kirkpatrick. And someone's going under the bus.
We will get to throwing folks under the bus here pretty soon. Probably the Seattle manager is due for a trip. But first, we have to welcome back Rich from his Italian summer home, his vacation villa in Italy, where he sits back and drinks wine and crushes olives.
He crushes olives.
Nice bit, Rich. Welcome back.
Thank you. Had a great time. Had great Italian food. It was beautiful country in Sicily. Had a chance to see some relatives, and lost my phone, which is always a treat on the third day of your vacation. I didn't lose it; actually had it stolen. So that wasn't fun. But outside of that, a great trip. It's great to be back. Also,
wow, it's good to have you back. I'm not sure what you got to see and what you didn't. Let's see. When you were leaving, the Yankees still had a chance. Right,
they did, and in Italy, it's 6 hours ahead of time. So I was waking up at 2:00 in the morning to find the scores, and my wife, I happened to grab her phone because my phone was gone. I was sitting in the bathroom, and she opened the door. I startled her because I was sitting there looking up scores. I think it was 5:00 in the morning at that time. So it's hard to kind of get into that routine of. You used to watch the game at 7, 8 o'clock, and now I'm waking up at 2 or 3 to find the score. So Yankees are a disappointment, not shocked, not surprised, but at least we had a shot. But your Indians had a really good run, didn't they?
Well, they rallied. They got a little help from the Tigers in winning the division, but then they ran out of gas. The Tigers were a better team and showed it in that round of the playoffs. But, of course, now it's the Blue Jays who beat the Yankees, who are going to the World Series. We're going to talk a little bit about them and a spectacular Game 7 and just a great series with Seattle. First, we probably should talk about Curry. You've watched a lot of games in all sports. Anything better than what Oh-my-tani did last week?
Well, I was going to ask you guys, probably significant, we might start with the historical over-the-bus event. Oh-my-tani's game, and I think in years to come, maybe we'll ask, where were you when Oh-my-tani went immortal? Rich, were you back in the country?
No, I was not. I heard about it, obviously, but I was not.
Oh my goodness. Well, Bob, I was going to watch, the Miami Louisville football game was on at the same time, so I was going to go back and forth. But I for sure was going to see the beginning of the game because I wanted to see Oh-my-tani pitch. And of course, he strikes out 3, and then I wait, and he gets up and he runs to the dugout and then goes up to bat and hits a home run. So I stayed the whole game. I watched I couldn't move after that.
That should have been enough right there.
Yeah.
But then he ends up going 6, strikes out 10, doesn't walk anybody, gives up just 2 hits, and oh, by the way, hits 2 more home runs.
Well, let me ask you this question. He's the best player in baseball. Why, after he hits a home run, then he hits the second home run, I understand it was out of the park, right? Why do you pitch to him? Why do you pitch to him?
Well,
honestly.
Because they got an MVP hitting behind him and another MVP hitting behind him.
I understand that, but my goodness, the guy's the best of all time. Don't pitch to him.
Yeah. That's probably good philosophy. The only negative to the whole thing, the game was, it almost makes the World Series anticlimactic. I mean, what can this guy do now? I mean, he's just done. I mean, it was just ridiculous watching it, Rich. Especially, the second and then third home runs. You're just watching it. And it's like you're watching a movie, I guess, a fable, and this thing was happening in front of your eyes. And the guy is, it's funny when he comes into the dugout after he hits the home runs, Betts, instead of hugging him, Betts is the next guy up all the time. Betts just give him a little slap on the wrist. It's like they don't even know each other.
It's like normal.
Yeah, it's like they don't even know each other. And then a guy they don't do a big celebration in the dugout. He just comes in and they clap, high five him. But it's really different than when the other teams have, a big home run. It's
Well,
really
they don't have a jacket for him like Toronto puts a jacket on him.
so, yeah.
No trident like the Seattle guys had.
Yeah.
No, just standard issue stuff. They what
Well,
I
if we
is wonderful is that he doesn't seem to he just okay, it happened. I mean,
Yeah.
he is not awed by what he's doing, and
Yeah.
the rest of us are. But
the only time, and even last year when they won the series, I mean, I don't remember him being the only time I've seen him really excited is when he struck out Mike Trout in the World Classic,
Yes.
who was his teammate at the time, to win the world class, whatever they call it.
Yeah.
He went crazy, if you remember, in that game. I mean, maybe it's because he's playing for his country. I don't know.
Right, probably
But
so.
he went nuts. And I mean, it was a personal triumph, I guess, and then a nationalistic deal for him. If we get back to under, though, Game 6, we're back in Toronto, and I have to throw the dumper under the bus for Game 6. He struck out 3 times, bounced, got hit into an unassisted double play, and then had the throwing error that scored the run. So he came back, of course, last night. We're talking Tuesday in Game 7, hit a home run to give him the 3-1 lead.
Yeah.
And then we go to your boy Wilson. So he's going to get attacked by everybody, Bob. What would be your theory of the play?
He had choices.
Yep.
And he picked the wrong choice. I mean, the one choice would be to stay with who he had. I thought Brian Wu was pitching just fine. He's a starting pitcher. He's used to the rhythm of what he'd gotten into because he was already in the second inning of that work. He had a really good middleman, Matt Brash, that he could have gone to, right-handed hitter, could have gotten it done. This is all when Springer's getting ready to come up.
Well, and he has Munoz, his best reliever.
He has his best, he has his closer.
Who he wants to save.
Wanting to save that because it was only the 7th inning. And he picked the worst choice, obviously looking back at it, the worst choice, Basardo, who was just a run-of-the-mill, innings-eating middleman relief pitcher. And how about George Springer? I mean, he has been clutch his entire career, and now has more home runs in the postseason than anybody. But I think Manny and one other guy,
Altuve, his former teammate.
Altuve. And
Rich, did you see this? Or we're talking? I mean, did you see the game Game 7?
I saw some of the game last night. I saw Springer strike out prior to him hitting a home run, which he didn't look all good at bat.
And Springer probably shouldn't have even been playing because of the ball he'd taken off his knee.
Right. I thought it broke his knee. That thing.
Yeah.
TV kept playing it. You could hear it. It sounded like a batted ball.
Yeah.
But Bob, let me ask you this: Wilson had another choice.
Okay.
He could have walked Springer. He could have put him on base.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure that wouldn't have been my decision because, as Rich says, don't pitch to these guys. Just don't pitch to them. And he has the light hitting second man, 2-man in the lineup coming up, who's a nice hitter, but he's not Springer.
Yeah.
I mean, Springer's got a history of doing this, as they know.
But, that maybe the walk was probably the smartest play, and we'll see. I mean,
as you say, his choice was his 4th or 5th choice. He had when you count them all.
Maybe the first choice was to walk Springer.
Yeah, but his choice it turned out to be Bizarro. Just sorry to
Bizardo, who was Bizarro.
To bring in Bizardo, and Bizardo, poor Eduardo Bizarro, he's a Venezuelan, and so it must have felt like he was in a boat and Springer was Trump. I mean, that poor guy.
Something they did not mention last night. It has been a big story in kind of all of the postmortem today. And hooray for him. Don Mattingly finally gets to go to his first World Series after over 40 years in baseball. and he played for 14. He managed for 12. He's been a coach for 17, and he finally gets to go to a World Series. He's just a coach for the Blue Jays. He's not a big high-profile guy, but he's a baseball lifer, obviously,
Right.
and to finally get a World Series. Rich, you had to be a Mattingly guy back in the day. Huh?
And I was, and what's amazing, in all those 14 years he played, they never made the playoffs.
No.
Never think of your Yankees and never made the playoffs. How about that? That's crazy.
Yeah.
And he should be in the Hall of Fame, and he's not, because he's one of the best first basemen. So, I mean, there are some guys that have gone in recently that I just don't think are as good as he is. But I think what hurts him is that they never did anything. They never made the playoffs and never won any place. So
another thing.
Okay, I got another. Here's my annual under the bus to John Smoltz, who I'm really getting tired of. He is so boring. He has to give the history of every pitch. And with the slider, how many sliders have they thrown past the guy who's missed a fastball? It's every pitch. I just want to get up and say, John, we don't care. We don't care. If you listen,
I think he's
really,
I will give him a better grade than most folks, but
really, it's just so tedious. If you listen carefully, also, he a lot of times makes no sense whatsoever. I got a line for you in the 5th inning of Game 6. Logan Gilbert is pitching to Vladdy, and Smoltz says, "Don't underestimate what Logan Gilbert is trying to do, even though he's down 4-0." What? Don't overestimate. I'm screaming at the TV. How about if I overestimate it? He's trying to get him out. The very next pitch, Vladdy sends to Niagara Falls. I mean, he just and the next thing you hear is, after the crowd noise and all the things, it's like 5 minutes later, you don't hear Smoltz at all. It's Joe Davis saying, "Well, that'll be it for Logan Gilbert." It was a great season. It was a great.
I really feel for the fans of Seattle, of which I was one back in growing up, to have your Mariners finally have a chance, to have your Seahawks, who are even more popular than the Mariners. They are still a bigger deal in Seattle, playing at the same time and still selling out. I'm amazed people would go to the Seahawks game when the other game was on TV. I'm sure they were showing it at the stadium next door to the baseball park.
Yeah, they had TV cameras in a bunch of bars.
The football team even more. And at least their football fans have had a couple of Super Bowls, but boy, for the baseball fans, Seattle was not a very big baseball town until the 90s. The first 15, 20 years, I mean, they were in bad shape attendance-wise. Then when they built the new park, things got better. When they made that playoff run in '95, and then got their ballpark, the old Kingdome, loudest baseball park I've ever been in.
Is that right? Wow.
95 playoffs. Well, again, it was domed. The new ballpark domed for that Game 6 was probably just as loud, but 95.
When Springer hit the home run, all the announcers were saying this is the loudest I've ever heard in a ballpark.
I've been to. You guys have been. I've been to the Rogers Center now. It used to be Sky Dome, and it can get loud when the roof is closed. But my guess is Seattle is even louder. That's wild stuff. Great for baseball.
Right, absolutely. And now the Seattle, they're the only team in Major League Baseball that's never been to the World Series. Is that right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hey, be watching first game 1 of the World Series in LA. Watch if you're watching from the center field camera, lower right-hand corner, Mary Hart, the game show or the.
No, she's at every game. She's at every game.
She'll be there. Yeah. And watch her. She'll be sitting there, big Dodger fan, and she'll be front row. Watch for her.
Before we leave
before
we leave the series, I got another shout out to Joe Davis. This isn't under the bus. It's over actually. To Joe Davis. He had the funniest call of the baseball season. I said, when Alejandro Kirk, the fat Texan, the fat Mexican from Tijuana, who's a catcher, he was on second, and somebody hit a hard hit ball into center, and Kirk is trying to score, and he is chugging around, and he made it. And Davis is literally screaming, "He's the slowest runner in the major leagues."
He is, yeah.
He also, and it was the only time they said afterward, it was the only time the third base coach has ever sent him from second base. Ever.
It was the only time he has scored from second on a single.
Yeah.
All year.
Yeah.
And,
well, Davis apologized the next night, sort of, because he realized, he's calling him the slowest runner. But he apologized by saying, well, the major league statistics show that he really is the slowest runner in the majors. He had to kind of apologize.
Because the second slowest runner in the majors was Josh Naylor, the first baseman for Seattle.
Yeah.
Like 20-some stolen bases for some odd reason.
Well, how about him? Isn't he the one that jumped up and got the interference call last night on a double play? Yeah.
I thought it was a nice try. Remember Reggie back in the 70s, Rich? When Reggie, Dodgers and Yankees in that World Series?
Yes.
Reggie got in the way and elbowed a ball out, and they called him safe. He was still safe. This time they got on the replay. Hey, thank heavens for replay. We give replay a hard time, and next year it's going to be even better because you could maybe get some of the pitches right. But there were so many close plays, particularly at first base, that they went back to replay and they got them right. And boy, I'm glad. There would be I'm sure there are a lot of Cardinal fans who wish that was still alive back in '85. But good stuff. One other question I got on the baseball. It's not going to be a question that's asked a lot in the next week because the Dodgers have the number one payroll, and Toronto's in the top 5, I think, in payroll. But are we headed toward because Milwaukee and Detroit and Cleveland got in but didn't get any further? Are we talking salary cap? Or are we the players? The players don't want it. The owners do. We got a strike coming up in 27, or the end of the agreement is in 27. Are they going to have to seriously talk salary cap?
Well, your guess is as good as mine on that one. I have no idea. I would think the commissioner would have some say of course, he's an owner's guy, and I think he would come down on their side. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, they're making so much money. It's ridiculous how much money these guys are making. It's crazy for playing the game. And they'll tell you,
for not playing them well, because some of these 220 hitters are making millions, right? I mean, seriously.
You're exactly right, Curry. When you look about what some of these guys are batting and the errors they make and so forth, and decisions they make, and then they complain about they're not making enough money. Are they nuts? They're crazy.
Well,
the thing about Seattle, the thing that's interesting is they had a 2-game lead, right? Lost that. Then they were up 3-2 and lost that. So they really should be thrown under the bus. I mean, they were sitting pretty right there.
Nice, yeah.
I was pulling for them. I was hoping they would be able to get to the World Series, but you always say, well, wait until next year, but so many things can happen. They were right there knocking on the door. They should have opened it.
They've got some great pitching. I think they've got a shot at it. Hey, we still got a lot of people left to throw under the bus. We still got college football. We still got the NFL. The NBA is opening its season. I know Rich and Curry are excited about that. All of that coming up when we come back. No. Throw some folks under the bus.
The NBA is opening about 2 months too soon.
That's true. Yeah, you're right.
Welcome back to Under the Bus. Bob Stevens along with Curry Kirkpatrick and Rich Basirico. All right, let's get it out of the way then. The NBA opening. Who gets to raise the banner? Oklahoma City. How about that?
Yeah,
Who'd have bet on that 4 or 5 years ago?
not many people. Not many
No.
people at all.
And they are the favorite to repeat
Yeah.
because everybody's coming back. Plus, their big guy, who was not much of a factor last year because he got hurt, was a little bit of a factor in the playoffs. But that's unbelievable. The only other team in the West given much of a shot is Denver. And then in the East, Rich, your Knicks are co-favorites
That's scary. That's scary. Well, how about your Cavaliers? They should be right there.
They're kind of the co-favorites.
Yeah.
In the East. Yeah, Curry, I agree with you though. They're about 2 months early.
NBA, NBA owns Christmas Day. Well, they don't anymore because NFL's playing now. But that's when they should start the season. Christmas Day. How about that?
That would be a good idea.
When I first started covering the Cavaliers, when I was in Cleveland, Lenny Wilkins gave me a great piece of advice. He says, "Don't believe anything that happens before Christmas Day."
Really?
A couple of months, guys, nothing matters. If a team gets off to a hot start or a bad start, none of that matters. Christmas Day, we kind of really start paying attention. And
here's what I'm picking. I'm picking Denver. I'm picking Denver, and I'm picking the Knicks to get Giannis and the Knicks to win with Giannis. And
I hope so. Curry, I hope you're right. I really do. I hope you're right. I just, it's the season's too long. Think about it. They're starting in October, and the playoffs don't start until April.
Yeah,
that's a long season. And who knows? Lenny Wilkins, obviously he played and coached, and what you just said, Bob, is so true. Things happening now means nothing. It really doesn't. And I as much as I love basketball, I don't watch the NBA until the playoffs. I really I'll occasionally turn in and watch the Knicks a little bit, but for the most part, I don't watch until the playoffs begin.
The one thing I am amazed that might make me watch just a little bit is that LeBron is still playing. Curry is still playing. Yeah. Durant is still playing. The old guys, for some reason, there is a group of older guys that are still playing. It's not, you would think it should be all kids, but there's still a little room for the old guys. Maybe Jordan or Magic.
This is the first time LeBron is not starting the first game. He's hurt already. So
they say he may not play for a month.
Yeah.
Well, and again, he knows better than anybody. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. True. Well, that means his son will get some playing time now, huh? Oh my Lord! I watched him in preseason. Look at some stats.
Here we go.
He has no business playing in the NBA. Zero.
Rich, congratulations, though. You're one of the few guys who watched more than a minute of preseason basketball. Good for you.
Well, I was just changing channels and it came up and I saw the Lakers and I said, I'm going to see if Bronny's playing right now. He was 1 for 9 that game. So I still don't get it. I never will, but what does that mean?
All right. It'll fit into this segment then. Let's talk NFL too.
Okay.
Another season that's probably too long. We're 7 weeks in. We're not quite halfway. Some crazy stuff. Everybody.
Well, I got an immediate under.
A great job.
Yeah, I got an immediate under to Rich for this for his Giants. 33. Give up 33 points in the fourth quarter.
Crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Up by 18 with 5 minutes left, and they blow the game. You can't lose that game.
No. There was a stat that came out that said the NFL teams won 1,602 games, consecutive games, with leading by 18 points in the final 6 minutes of the game. Only the Giants could do what they did. Only the Giants. That is so ridiculous. When they scored with 37 seconds, I'm watching it on my TV and I'm saying, you scored too early. And my wife says, 37 seconds. They scored too early. Watch this. They lost to Dallas early in the season when they scored 25 seconds ago, and they lost. This time it was 37, actually 34 because they ran the ball back, or 33, whatever. It's mind-boggling. How do you hold a team to 0 points in 3 quarters and you give up 33 in the fourth. How is that possible?
Well,
Even the players were upset with the defensive coordinator because he started rushing for
yeah,
only 3 players. Why would you
yeah.
change what you're doing defensively? Help me
Nobody knew
understand that.
nobody knew this guy's name until this blown game. His name was defensive coordinator Shane Bowen.
Yeah.
No relation to Shane the gunfighter, who did, he did defend people, and no relation to Bowen Yang of Saturday Night Live hilarity, which is what this guy's defense was. I don't know what about the kicker? Has he been cut
Yeah.
yet? Has he
He
been
should
cut?
have been. He has not to my knowledge, but he should have. I
I
wouldn't even
was
let
going
him
to say
back on the plane. He
his
should
name
have
is
been. I would have taken.
Jude McCatnamy is his name. Hey Jude, hey, goodbye.
Hey, Jude.
I mean,
I seriously, if I was me, I would have taken another plane home. I couldn't even face my teammates. I mean,
well,
that's
here's
missed 2 extra points like that. Come on, you're an NFL player getting paid. Talking about getting paid, he's getting paid for doing this.
I read where the first play of Knicks's winning drive, which started at 33 seconds. The first
Yeah.
play was the one the defenders were all upset about, that they played, an easy on the edge, three rushers,
All right.
and easy on the edge, and they put no pressure on
Right.
Knicks. And it was a 29-yard completion, I think,
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
All he needed was another one of those, and then they kicked the field goal to win.
Right.
But Brian Burns, who's the captain, he was heard going off the field just like screaming, drop eight, like questioning the call. And then
Yeah.
they asked, of course, the reporters asked him, and he shut his mouth. He didn't want to say anymore about Shane. But Rich, you can't lose that game and be legitimate. You just can't. I mean,
No,
we found a quarterback. I think we found a quarterback, the Giants, Dart.
yeah.
He brings great energy, and
He does.
he looks
I think
terrific.
he's Curry. I think he's a little too much Hollywood for me.
Well, he looks like a movie star. That's
Yeah,
why he
he
looks like
looks.
a movie star.
But when they would have the ball and trying to run some time off the clock and it's 3rd and 5, he's throwing a 40-yard down. Get the first down. We don't need a 40. We're winning the game. Get the first down. We're throwing 40. He's throwing 40 yards, 50 yards. Why? Now, of course, he throws that long pass and there's interference and they get the ball on the 2-yard line. And then, of course, coach runs on the field and then he gets
Yeah,
a penalty, gets to the 1. And I was hoping they wouldn't score on the next play. I said, please don't score right now. Just there's too much time.
Too soon.
But in 37 seconds, that's too much time. Yeah, for the Giants, it is.
Too soon. Yeah.
Oh, that's terrific. So Jackson Dart is too Hollywood for you. Indiana Jones wasn't the right guy.
Indiana Jones, look what he's doing now.
The only games Eli Manning ever won were Super Bowls.
That's what happens when you're a Giant fan, Bob. That's what you get when you're a Giant fan.
To come back? Come on.
I do want Y.A. Tittle to come back. I do.
Connerly? How far
How
back?
about Gary Woods with Y.A. Tittle?
How about Tommy Cutlets? How about Tommy Cutlets?
I would love to have Tommy Cutlet. Absolutely would love to have Tommy Cutlet.
Have you've seen his commercial, right? You've seen these commercials where these guys come in that's a great idea. I love them. Those commercials. They've got the Carolina guy in there now, the quarterback that came out of Carolina a few years ago.
Oh yeah,
he's in the same. He's in one of those commercials now as a replacement.
Yeah, I think of him with the Bears. He bounced around some, but
what about? Let me ask you about this.
Yeah.
The Miami Dolphins.
Ooh, speaking of under the bus.
Speaking of under, they lose 31-6 to Cleveland. I don't know who's worth Tua, who threw 3 more interceptions, 3 more picks. That's his season career high of about 57. He's got about not really, but he calls out the team after the last loss on leadership, on his teammates. Then he has to publicly apologize. Then he puts up this game, which was ridiculous. I mean, they're awful. And the coach, of course, McDaniel, I don't know who's out first, Tua or Mike. Who's gone first?
I think both should be out. Be honest with you. But you know who the backup is?
Quinn Ewers. Quinn Ewers?
No, maybe he's too. The former Jet quarterback.
No.
He got hurt. So Ewers
Quinn,
is number 2 now.
Oh, okay. I
Quinn
didn't know he
Ewers.
got hurt. How did he get hurt? He hasn't played in the game.
They pulled Tua out and put Quinn Ewers in. I thought Quinn Ewers was still a backup for Arch Manning at Texas. I thought he was. He played. But did you then see? Okay, so McDaniel, who speaks in this soft voice and this little intellectualizes everything. He said, I thought, no, what was his line? I loved his line. Emotional overreactions were detrimental to us. Emotional overreactions, he said. Then he said, after the game, they asked him about his job. He says, now figure this out. He says, if I'm thinking about having a job, I need to be doing a job. What are you talking about? I mean, these guys
are doing a job.
Then Monday, did you see this? He reinstalled Tua. He said Tua's going to start next week. And then he said, I hope we don't throw 10 interceptions. That's your coach. That's our coach.
Lots of confidence, huh?
That's unbelievable.
That is unbelievable.
That's
I told you guys before, he looks like he's in high school. I mean, how do these guys, 30 years old, 260 pounds, 320, whatever they are, look down at that guy and go, he's our leader. I mean, he looks like a guy, he's might be my math teacher. That's what he looks like.
Well, perfect. That segues us right into our next segment, which we will talk about college coaches that have been thrown under the bus this week, because maybe McDaniel will be looking for one of their jobs, but I'm not sure he's worthy. We'll
Can I throw one more while we're still in the NFL?
All right.
I'm gonna go way back to the start of the week, Thursday night, when Father Time went under the bus, because it was like the night of the geezers, because those 40-year-old pluses, Joe Flacco and Aaron Rodgers, lit up the night. I mean, what a game! It's a great game.
They still know what they're doing. And
then at the same time, and Rodgers' Hail Mary at the end of the game was I love to watch this guy. He's completed like 3 of those in his career, I think. Yeah. But it was wonderful to see. It was almost as entertaining as the baseball geezer. At the same time, Mad Max Scherzer was saving another game for the Toronto team. And Rich, you must have been out of the country, but
I was.
Oh, you didn't see the manager, John Snyder, comes out in the 5th to get Scherzer out of the game. He comes off the mound, and and Scherzer says, "No way!" And they're like having this animated conversation. And the manager, Snyder, had never seen that part of Mad Max, and they asked him about it. He said, "Well, I went out there, and Scherzer has those 2 different colored eyes."
Right, yeah.
And he says he locked those eyes on me, and I thought he was going to kill me. And then he would have. Snyder
want to come out.
Snyder's scattered back to the dugout. And
so he stayed in, huh? He stayed in.
He got a couple more outs.
Got out of trouble, and then sat down.
Yeah. Please,
his last game. But
please let us have some Mad Max moments in the World Series.
Yeah, that would be great. That would be great. That really would.
Yeah,
for sure.
It'll be good stuff. We should have brought that up during baseball, but anyway, we got it in.
Well, I wanted to bring it with the football guys. So
there you go. Okay. Well, we'll talk about some more football guys when we come back and throw some coaches under the bus. Brought to you by Hudson's on the Docks. Welcome back to Under the Bus. Bob Stevens along with Curry Kirkpatrick and Rich Basirico. In college football, a couple of 3 coaches got fired, and a couple of 3 more are on the doorstep, I would think. Billy Napier finally fired at Florida, even after a win.
Yeah.
That's how things are there. That's how much they love him there. Wisconsin's got to be next, probably, with Luke Fickell.
Right.
Although their AD or their president or whatever gave him a vote of confidence. The same thing has happened at Florida State with Mike Norvell. He can always say he beat Alabama this year.
Yeah, those votes.
That's crazy. That's crazy when you think about that. The game they played, did you see that first game of the season?
Yeah.
Florida State and Alabama. Alabama was favored by 14.5 points, and Florida State controlled both sides of the ball. After watching that game, I'm thinking, man, they're going to have a great season. They're really going to have a good season. They have totally gone downhill. Totally. Did you see how they lost this last game where they got the ball on the goal? They got stopped at the goal line, and they had a replay.
Yeah, I think he's gone. To get back to Napier for a minute, Bob, that's not a precedent. Him getting fired after he won the game. He's running off the field and they're yelling, "Fire Billy, fire Billy," and booing him off the field, off his own field after he wins the game. But Jimbo Fisher, who has the ultimate, the biggest payout of all time, I think it's 76 million or something. Right. He also lost. He also won the game and then got fired after winning the game. And it was also Mississippi State. So the two of them beat Mississippi State and get fired.
But Mississippi, did you see the end of that game against Mississippi State? They're down 2 points to Florida with the ball, 29 seconds to go on the 30-yard line. All they got to do is maybe run one more play and kick a field goal to win the game, and they throw a pass, and it's intercepted.
Oh.
I mean, think of that. I mean, so maybe they thought Billy, hey, Billy won, but really Mississippi State shot themselves in the foot by throwing that pass. They could have just fell on the ground and kicked a field goal. He's throwing a pass in that play.
James Franklin end up there?
James Franklin, why would you hire him? I mean, seriously, at a major college football team, why would you hire him? I mean, I know he's won, but he can't win the big game. And these people want to win big games. He can't win the big game.
But Rich, he seems like a guy of integrity. He's African American. He's going to get a good job.
I'm sure he will.
He's going to get a big time job. He get a big time job. To stay at Florida State, that guy Norvell has lost 9 ACC games in a row now, and he loses at Stanford. Nobody's watching it. It's in the middle of the night. They lose, and of course they're flying back, and all the alumni, I'm sure, are up in the middle of the night trying to figure out where they can get the $55 million buyout that this guy has. It would be the second highest since Jimbo. Be the second highest. It's not just
they should have made the Florida State team fly back with the Carolina team that was also on the West Coast and lost to Cal.
And the Tar Heels lost as we have a receiver going into the end zone with the winning touchdown, and he fumbles the ball
at the goal line.
Stanford, at the goal line. But to get back to, I read where not only the alumni are after Norvell, his own players were apparently chuckling in the locker room after the loss about how they're going to have to, quote, respond again, because that apparently is one of his things at the presser. He's always going, well, now we're going to respond. Now we're going to respond. So the players themselves are laughing at this guy.
Well, then you got to get him out of there.
Is this going to become? I've been thinking about this. Is this going to become an issue in college football with the players getting paid that they're not going to? I mean, so what? I'm getting mine. And the coach is getting his, obviously, in huge numbers, that the money is going to kill it from the inside, that there won't be a great desire to have to go out and win.
Bob, you are so right. A lot of these guys, some of these kids go to schools that don't even have a chance to compete for a championship, but because the money's right, they go there. And when Curry mentioned about them chuckling in the locker room, it's time. When guys are doing that, it's time to get rid of the head coach or get rid of those players. One of the other.
That's the next thing I want to see is let's start. Okay, we paid you this long, or we'll pay you off. Get out of here, and get players who want to play. For
sure.
The players have all the power now.
They do.
speaking of Florida schools and throwing interceptions and under the bus, how about Miami? How about Miami? Carson Beck's got to go straight under. He had four interceptions. The last one going in for the winning touchdown.
That's right.
I mean, why do you throw? I mean, it's unbelievable, that game.
Wasn't he in the Heisman Trophy?
Oh yeah. And he's also supposed to be, number one draft choice, which he still may be. Who knows? I don't know.
But he wasn't kind of going into that game like the number one for a Heisman Trophy candidate in terms of being on the top of the list.
Yeah, of course, with Miami undefeated, he was. Yeah.
Sure. The Vanderbilt quarterback has won the Heisman already.
No, I don't. Well,
if they run the table from here,
they have to keep winning their games. Listen, I've never trusted Canes under this Mario Cristobal. I just don't trust him. He's done such stupid things in the last few years. By the way, Carson Beck has too many tattoos for me. Have you seen this guy's arm? I mean, he's seen this guy's arms, and he's got this babe in his car, and he must have gotten tons of tattoos over the off season, because I don't remember. Yeah,
he can afford him. I think he's the highest paid quarterback.
Is he?
In college football? Yeah, he's one of those 4 million at least guys.
But do you know the game before they threw the 4 interceptions? He threw 4 touchdown passes with no interceptions against Florida State. So he had 4 touchdowns, interceptions. The next game he has 4 interceptions with no touchdown passes. How about that?
I'd be handing the ball off. I'd be having him
I got a quote brilliant play caller going off my brilliant play caller list and under the bus. Lincoln Riley of Southern Cal. They played that game in a pouring rain, and Notre Dame is obviously got 2 great running backs, going to be NFL stars, and Lincoln Riley can't deal with that. But he held it close. It was 3 points in the fourth quarter, and he had a 4th down. He had a key 4th down, and he calls a reverse to his star receiver, not to receive the ball, to pass the ball. The guy's name is Lemon. He's going to be an All-American. He's a great receiver. He gives it to Lemon to throw the ball on the 4th down. Of course, he juggles it and he gets crushed.
The play doesn't work. The intended receiver?
Say it again.
I think he was going to throw it to the quarterback.
Probably, yeah, but he never.
So the guy catching it should have been throwing it, and the guy throwing it should have been.
This is in a driving rainstorm, by the way, to make a 4th down. Then Notre Dame scores. Now they're down 10. He's got another key 4th down. He's still be in it, and he runs. He's got like a yard or a half yard or something, and he runs a quarterback play to the outside. A rollout, and it gets crushed too. Where does this guy get his reputation as a play player?
I don't
get it. I don't get it.
He had that string of Heisman guys
that
could make up for it. I mean, Caleb Williams and Jalen Hurts and guys like that who could make up for whatever it was he was calling. With their execution, probably.
Well, it runs in the family. His brother's the offensive coordinator for Clemson. That tells you something.
Wow.
Riley's brother is the offensive coordinator at Clemson. Yeah. Man, we won't even bring Clemson up because I don't want to get an upset stomach.
Well, I can take it around. I got a Clemson sort of coordinated story, but it starts with my Tar Heels. The California crowd had the best chant about, so they see what's her name? Jordan Hudson on the sideline with Belichick in her sharkskin jacket and her thigh-high boots. And they started chanting, high school girlfriend. I mean, that's a great one.
You don't want to mess. Going on the road to Cal and Stanford is tough stuff because they will come up with some cheers.
Meanwhile, there's a real Jordan Hudson, and he plays wideout at SMU, and he had 7 catches and 130 yards for TD in SMU's victory over Clemson, where they avenged last year's ACC title game.
Right.
In that game. So he crushed Dabo. And then of course Dabo goes into his press conference and does a philosophical, psychological break. He said, we're going to get better. We're going to win
I hope
championships.
so.
We're going to win championships here. He kept saying, he just opens up his veins in these press conferences. I think Dabo should just shut up at the end of the game. Take the L and just shut up.
Maybe Dabo should say the same thing as Kirk Signetti, the coach at Indiana, who got the big payday last week. In fact, a whole lot of guys are going to get really big paydays off that Penn State job that are not going to take the job. Signetti's one of them.
Right.
But remember, his most famous line is, Google me.
Google me, yeah. What did he say last week? What did he say last week about that?
He didn't say anything more. That's still his mantra. And I think maybe anybody who wants to ask Dabo a question, just Google him.
Yeah.
I see.
Might be smarter. All right. Anybody else need to throw under the bus?
Well, I have one. This is going back to NFL. This is Woody Johnson, who's the owner of the Jets. And he comes out. I'm going to read two quotes. It says, it's hard when you have a quarterback with a rating that we've got. And he said, if we could just complete a pass, it would be good. We got to complete some passes. You got to convince them that you can do something. So this is talking about their quarterback who they paid $40 million over the next 2 years. And he just wants them to complete a pass. We're talking about the NFL. 2 games ago, he passed for 45 yards. That's like Fields completed, 45 yards. So he's out this weekend. Did you see that? It came out today. He's not starting this week. Taylor is.
They finally going to play Taylor?
Yeah.
It's taken them five games, right?
Yeah, they haven't won a game yet.
Whatever, 6, yeah.
Between Tyrod Taylor and Jacoby Brissett, you've actually got a couple of decent quarterbacks who that nobody will give them the ball and say, okay, it's yours. Go do it. And they're 2 guys who keep hanging around the league and making things happen. Curry? Somehow,
some way, yeah.
Anybody else to throw under?
I might throw myself under for getting some undeserved media coverage. A guy by the name of Monty Quinn ran for 522 yards and 7 touchdowns against Division III Nichols. Monty Quinn plays for Curry College, which is of course the school I invented and founded. But I have a shirt from Curry College, but the Curry is so big on it, it's embarrassing to wear. I got to send it back. But this gave cause for Tony Kornheiser on Monday to name check me. He name checked me. Tony said, I don't know Curry College, but I do know Curry Kirkpatrick. He said, so do I go under the bus for that? You guys?
Yes.
No, Kornheiser goes under the bus. A good spot for Kornheiser, huh? Inventing that college. That's that guy would have been going back to your lineage, Curry. Didn't you used to do Faces in the Crowd? Wasn't that?
Oh, right. He'd do Faces. He'd be a Faces,
right there, wouldn't he?
Yeah, sure. They're still doing Faces in the Crowd. Apparently, you don't read Sports Illustrated anymore.
I don't.
They do. They still do Faces. Yeah.
That as Justin has just posted there, Curry College and Trump University. That would be the next Rose Bowl, probably. If the money was right. All right, guys, it's been a lot of fun. Great to have you back, Rich.
Thanks. Thank you. It's good to be back.
Great to have Justin sitting in for you in the meantime. We had some sanity that reigned, and we will be back next week and bring you more and then throw more people because we'll have more people to throw under the bus.